Hello, YouTube. What I'm doing today is building a workbench. I know there are some videos on this, but I thought I'd do my own. And what this is called a Simpson strong tie workbench hardware kit. And it's basically a bunch of brackets. They give you the screws, and they give you a list here of things you need. You need 6 2x4x8. The pegboard, if you're going to make that back part. I'm not doing that. And then some plywood. I got two 2x4 foot plywood. They say 4x4, and then cut it. I just got, two 2x4, just to one less cut for me. So here's what you get. You get this whole box of screws. It says there are 100 of them. No pre-drilling, and they got like a little washer part on them. And then you got these brackets where they hold the 2x4, otherwise known as a 2x4. One goes this way, and then the legs go down that way. So the first thing you got to do, got 6 2x4s, some plywood, and we got to get to cutting. So the first thing you're going to want to do is determine how high you want your shelf or your bench. So I'm going to go with 40 inches, and you can subtract the 3/4 of an inch from the top if you want. I'm not going to do that, because if it's another 3/4 of an inch, I don't care. Actually, I think I'm going to go with 38. I'm going to go with 38 inches high for the legs, and there's going to be 3/4 inch top on top of that. Okay, so to get your board cut it this way, this is going to be one of the shelves on the bench. There's going to be a 3.5 inch 2x4 come this way, and then there's going to be another one going this way. So you gotta subtract those. So if you come out here to 3.5, come out here to 3.5, that's 7. So 7 minus 24, and you get 17 inches. So I get to cut 4 17-inch 2x4s. So your 2x4s are gonna sit this way, and they're actually, you can see here, they're actually 1.5 inches. Hopefully you can see that. They're 1.5 inches that way, and they're really 3.5 that way. So they're 1.5 inches by 3.5, not 2x4s. So you come out 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches here, and then 3 minus 48 gives you 45. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4 45-inch pieces. Everything's cut, and I figured probably the easiest way to do this is just to turn one of the 2 4-foot plywood's upside down and put the brackets on there. And you can just take them like this, and this part's going to serve as a sort of a jig or whatever to hold it all. And you can take these pieces here, then you just put your legs in here on the ends. Just make sure you're all leveled up the edges, and you can start screwing. Pardon the pun. And you might want to start out with just putting one screw on the outside of each corner to make sure you've got everything correct. Okay, so once you're satisfied, I got one screw in each corner, and you're satisfied that it's going to line up here with the plywood. You can go ahead and put all the rest of the screws in. There's some that go in the corners here, and then we can work on the brackets that go here. You got to decide how high you want. And in my case, I'm going to want to slide a little stool in here, so I got to measure that. For the second shelf, you want to determine if there's something you want to put on that shelf, or if there's something you want to put underneath it all, and measure for that. In my case, I want to put two milk cartons stacked on this bottom shelf underneath, so that's going to be 22 inches I need. So measuring from here, I think I would be, if I can hold this tape measure, I would be safe if I went to 25 inches and put my brackets all around there. So I'm going to measure that and then put a screw in each of the brackets. So then you just put the longer sides in. So what I've done is I just flipped it over right side up now. And I'm going to finish screwing all these bottom brackets in, and then I can put the plywood on top. I think I'm going to finish it tomorrow, so I'll continue this video then. Welcome back, YouTube. So I got the legs all put together. I got this bottom bracket and the other brackets all, every screw has a screw in it now. So what I've done here, excuse me, what I've done here is put the top upside down, put the bench on it upside down, and I'm not gonna screw screws through the top of the bench. That's what most people do. I don't want the screws showing, so I went and got some of these like little L brackets. Damn birds again. I don't know where it is. It's in this bush over here. I see you. Hold on a minute. So, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the birds, and they're still there. Those are just those parakeets. But a bunch of those ugly black birds are hanging around. Anyway, what I was saying is I've got the top upside down, the legs are laying upside down. I don't want to put screws in from the top. So I got these L brackets. They are 1.5 inches. I'm going to put 4 on here, 4 on there, and then 2 on the sides. So let me get to that. Okay, as you can see here, I got 2 on that side, and I got 4 on there, and then 2 on this side. So that part's done. I'm going to flip this over and show you something I'm going to do to the top. Oh, I wanted to show these are the screws that I use. They're 8 by 1/2 inch with the washer head built in, kind of. They're supposed to be used to screw metal lath to wood. They're similar to the screws that Simpson Strong Ties gives you for the corners, so I thought I'd just stick with that. Okay, so the edges of this plywood are very sharp, and there are a lot of splinters, so it's just a matter of time before I get a big splinter in my finger. So I've got this Dremel. It's I've had this a long time. It's kind of a multi-tool type thing, but it's got this plunge router base that comes in real handy, and I've got this rounding bit on here. So I'm going to round off all the corners and come right back. Okay, so that's all sanded smooth. Sorry, I had to blow the camera off. I'll show you more of that. I think I'm gonna seal this with some polyurethane, but we'll get back to that. We got to cut this shelf out for the bottom here. So the best way to do that is just to stand a 2x4 in the corner and just mark around it for the cutout. So as you can see, I got the bottom shelf. I didn't notice this huge crack right here in this plywood I got. I'm hoping that doesn't go all the way through to the other side. Should be okay for now. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this in with some inch and I don't know, inch and 5/8 or whatever, inch and a half drywall screws. So we'll zip that up and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so as you can see, well, except for my shadow, that it is pretty much done. Corners are rounded off nicely and sanded. This piece of plywood flew out of here, kind of chunked. There's not much I can do about that. It's the nature of plywood, I guess. But I do have a bit of surprise. I'm going to carry this video on a little bit longer, and I'm not going to disclose what I'm doing, but I will show the finished product at the end. This is the final result. The top here, I put 2 coats of this fast drying water-based polyurethane in a semi-gloss. No, I don't think it's semi-gloss. It seems more of a satin or almost matte. Kind of hard to get the camera to pick up on. I did round off the corners with my router bit, and this plywood's not very good. It's got a bunch of, if you can see that, defects in it, like chunks coming out of it, but the rounding worked pretty well. I decided to paint it. If I could do it over, what I would do is I would paint the 2x4s before I put it all together, because I got a little bit of paint on these brackets, which I'm going to get something and clean, like here for example. Got a little bit of paint on there. I'm going to clean that off And then for the paint, please, for the love of all that's good, do not use latex paint on stuff outside, well, even stuff inside like cabinets and stuff. This is a Behr product, and it's similar to some other stuff that other companies have, and this is a urethane alkyd, I think that's how you say it, alkyd satin enamel. So it's a urethane. Just don't use latex, because latex is rubber, and if you ever want to get it off, it doesn't really come off. Got the deep base there and had it tinted. They tinted it for me there at Home Depot, and the color I used was called Pinecone Path. I don't know if that matters if you want to use that color, but this is what I used, and I like it. I'm pretty pleased with it. Obviously, I said if I could do it over, I probably would have painted all the pieces before I put it together, or maybe just mocked it up and then taken it back apart and painted it. It's a workbench. After all, it's going to live out here under this carport. This is where it's going to spend its life. So I'm going to mount, I got a bench vise I'm going to mount right here because I need this. The reason I decided to do this is because I got a couple other projects that coming up here. I'm going to try to fix my fuel gauge. It's bouncing around, so I got a gauge, so I'm going to make a video on that. And yes, another P0, was it 442 code in my truck. I'm going to try to fix that finally, hopefully forever. So I'll be making those videos here pretty soon. So thanks for coming along on this one. If you made it this long in the video, please like this video and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I will make more stuff like this. And there's other, I'll put a link to a video that I watched that inspired me to build this. His name is Jimmy on One Road, and he made a bench. He didn't paint his and use birch for the top, but you know, I went a little overboard. And also on the cost, before I kick you guys out, the wood has gotten really expensive. I'll put the cost, I don't remember the cost of the brackets. I'll put a link to that on Amazon. But the wood for this plywood, that cruddy cracked plywood and the 2x4s was $90. That doesn't include the polyurethane and the paint, that was extra. So $90 plus whatever those were. I think they were like $30 or $40. So it's gone up. You used to be able to build this for like under $100, but the wood, at least in my area, has gone up. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one.